First fighter, Alex Volkanovski, 145.
Alexander Volkanovski coming off his decision win. Jose Aldo steps on the scale. So, something wrong with the scale? I'm not quite sure, but Volkanovski's still up there. $144.5. Alexander Volkanovski, who's on standby as a possible replacement for Frankie Edgar and Max Holloway's title fight.
And it looks like Frankie's next. Frankie's waiting in the wings.
Frankie Edgar is right there, ready to get in, so a possible replacement is on here.
145, Frankie Edgar.
If anything, I don't think anyone's expecting Frank Edgar to miss weight.
I sincerely doubt it.
$145 even for Frankie the Answer Edgar, former lightweight champion, former featherweight title challenger. Another title fight for Frank Edgar taking on Max Holloway. The fight has been booked twice prior. Once for UFC 218, once for UFC 222. Both fell off. First, Frankie got hurt, then Max fell off.
Fighting at 145, Gavin Tucker.
Gavin Tucker up next. What do you know about Gavin Tucker, Alex?
You know, Gavin was a pretty high prospect once upon a time. He's been out for, I think, almost 2 years now, unfortunately.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he's been dealing with injuries, unfortunately. Now I think he's 33, so he's not old, but maybe, again, past the point where he was past the prospect age, unfortunately. And
his last fight was against Rick Glenn, September 2017.
Yeah, but you know, it's never too late. I actually think Gavin's still really good, so.
$145 even for Gavin Tucker. Fun fact, his last fight was at UFC 215, which was the last time the UFC was in Edmonton.
Well, there we go.
He came up short to Rick Glenn.
Yeah, a tough opponent, right?
Very tough
Yeah,
opponent.
Sam Silly before that, so he's had tough opponents, and again, I just don't think he's really had a chance to show what he can do, and hopefully he still has that opportunity.
Apparently his last fight.
Got Jillian Robertson coming
Fighting
next.
at 125, Jillian Robertson.
Someone you've had a lot of opinions on this week, if I'm not mistaken.
A few.
Jillian Robertson, who takes on Sarah Frota. Early for prelims.
125 even.
125 even for Jillian Robertson, who takes on Sarah Frota in a women's flyweight bout on the Fight Pass prelims.
Yes, Jillian hails from Niagara Falls, Ontario, but currently lives in Florida.
And I see Dean Thomas there, so ATT.
Yes, I've had some people. So this is where we get into. By the way, this is what we call gossip. And
sure.
Some people saying she doesn't really represent Canada that much. Like she's essentially lives in America. So, but she has been flaunting her Canadianness on her social media ahead of this card. So.
Fighting at 125, Alexis Davis.
Alexis Davis, former bantamweight title challenger, famously got finished by Ronda Rousey at UFC 175. Another Canadian native.
The pride of Port Colborne, Ontario.
Sure.
As we call her.
Another recognizable name in the flyweight division, former bantamweight that's gone down. So you have to wonder, she does have back-to-back losses, but how many losses in a row? Like, does it take for you to come out of title contention in such a new/shallow division? I think. Well, not shallow, but just it's a newer division. So they're looking for title challenges. They're looking for recognizable names. 125 even for Alexis Davis. She's looking to rebound from back-to-back losses to Jennifer Matt and Katlyn Chukagian. She does have a win over Liz Carmouche in her flyweight debut, who's now fighting. Liz Carmouche is now fighting Valentina Shevchenko for the women's flyweight title. So if Liz Carmouche wins, beats Valentina Shevchenko, it's no easy task.
Fighting at 170, Nico Price.
Nico Price.
Strutting in.
There it is.
Strutting in.
Ric Flair walking. Styling and profiling his way to the scale.
And Rooster-esque with the hair, Jose.
Yeah. One of the low-key most exciting fighters in the welterweight division, I think.
even.
169 for Nico Price. And there's the pose I was telling you about yesterday, Alex.
That is money.
Nico Price is, I was saying, I think one of the most exciting fighters.
Yeah, he really doesn't get enough credit for it, probably because you need a win streak usually to go along. But
the welterweight division is also very stacked.
For sure. But last 8 fights, all gone to a finish. He's only gone to a decision once in his career. So he's a super
He's also
exciting
never
guy.
lost a decision.
Correct. This is true.
So he's
at 170, Jeff Neal.
And just like that, his opponent, Jeff Neal,
Here we
who
go.
we spoke to yesterday at Media Day, still a restaurant server back home in Texas. So I was hoping to one day be able to quit that job. But I asked him, does serving pay more? And he said, hell no. If it did, I wouldn't be fighting. $170.5 for Jeff Neal, and that fight is official. That fight is official. Nico Price versus Jeff Neal will go down at welterweight. Jeff is another Dana White Contender Series alum, known for his knockout power. So if I had to bet this fight, that fight is not reaching the end of the third round.
No way. Unless we get the always classic Ngannou Lewis situation. But I doubt that.
Our cameraman Casey right now is saying, don't say that.
Don't say that.
There's no such thing as jinxes. No such thing as jinxes, kids. Remember, they don't exist. Hori here is Hori. I'm sorry, I'm probably butchering his name. Hori is an absolute beast, making his UFC debut. So, a Misfits alum.
I was about to say, I think I've seen this name once or twice.
Featured him in Misfits, Jed Meshew and I. So.
Which one of his fights made the Misfits? There you go. Put you on the spot.
I'm just being quiet because he's weighing in.
Sure. Casey.
145 and a half.
145 and a half for Yoshinori Hori.
It was his last fight before getting signed by the UFC against Hiroshige Tanaka at Pancrase 303 in March.
Pancrase, huh? Haven't heard that name in a long time.
They're putting on shows on Fight Pass all the time. And they are rocking.
8-1, if I'm
Pancrase is super exciting for anyone out there who doesn't know that's on Fight Pass. Check out those Pancrase cards. They are awesome.
I see Max Holloway sitting right there, ready to weigh in. He's sitting down. He's already stripped down to his compression shorts, so he's not messing around. Looks like he's one of these fighters that cuts weight right up until the last minute.
They're breaking out the towel.
Yeah, he's
breaking the towel already. I don't see the hoop. Where's the hoop? Oh, there's a hoop. The hoop's there.
The men don't use the hoop.
Why not, though?
145, Max Holloway.
It is truly a mystery.
Hoops for men, please.
Start that movement. Max Holloway sprints up on the scale. He's ready to get this over with.
145 even.
145, Frankie Edgar and Max Holloway make weight. We have ourselves a title fight. UFC featherweight champion Max Holloway makes weight ahead of his title fight against Frankie Edgar. He is all smiles.
They need a fucking hoop.
Our cameraman Casey is all aboard the hoop train.
He threw in an F word, but I agree.
Yes.
Wow, he's fired up to win.
It's one of the best flyweights in the world right here. People.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He also needs the towel, but he's ready to go.
125 and a half.
125 and a half for Alexandre Pantoja, number 3 flyweight in the world. And I was surprised when they booked this fight. I was actually surprised because they booked this back when the flyweight divisions.
Yeah.
There was a lot of questions.
They were chopping
surrounding
people as this fight was booked.
So when they booked this fight, and then they booked Benavidez Formiga, and Benavidez himself goes, well, what are they doing? Like, look at that fight that's happening. He's fighting Figueiredo, who's the number 4 ranked flyweight.
155, Olivier Aubin Mercier.
Canadian gangster.
The Canadian gangster, Olivier Aubin Mercier. If you haven't checked it out, one of the more unique portraits our photographer Esterlin took yesterday. Couldn't tell you what he was reading because it was in French. Montreal's own, or as Alexander would pronounce it, Montreal.
$155 and a half.
155 and a half, so Olivier Aubin Mercier. TriStar's own. Looking to get back into the win column after back-to-back losses to Gilbert Burns and Alexander Hernandez. One thing that really stands out to me when he lost to Alexander Hernandez, he said he was just better. Like, there was no problem with the camp, there's no injuries, there's no weight cut issues. He said he was just better than me. And he said, I just have to get better. And I believe there was an interesting anecdote. He hired someone to a scouting report to scout out his opponent for tomorrow. So not only him, but he wanted someone to scout himself and tell him where he shows weaknesses.
Just blew my mind.
So he's taking a very different approach than most fighters take.
You just blew my mind all over this hall.
All right.
$170.5.
Kyle Stewart makes the weight. And if you are keeping track, there is a trend with these fighters weighing in. I will not say it because I am a superstitious man.
No misses, baby.
Hey,
no misses.
What did I just say?
Who's in this weight in the first 15 minutes?
And they won't in the next 2 in the
Let's
first
not
2
stop
hours.
talking about this, guys. I'm a very superstitious individual.
I don't believe in jinxes, but why chance it? Why chance it?
Why take that
Why
risk,
chance it?
man?
You're right, why chance it?
Remember, we've had fighters fall out after weigh-ins.
This is true.
So
Yeah, this is true.
everyone needs to stop talking about it.
Fighting at 125, Sarah Frota.
Sarah Frota up next.
Sarah missed really badly for a strawweight fight last time. This is at 125, so fingers crossed here. Should be easier.
She definitely looks healthier on this scale.
125 even.
125 even for Sarah Frota.
Well done, Sarah
And that last video was pretty tough to watch before weighing in with the towel. It was very, very tough. And not only does she not need the towel as last time, but she's all smiles, she's walking around, she's energetic. Like, she struggled to even walk out from the room to the scale last time.
Is she the only lady fighter with face tattoos in the UFC?
No.
Fighting at 145,
Jesse Jess has face
Chris
tattoos.
Cyborg.
Chris Cyborg, the former featherweight champion.
Former featherweight champion. 3-round fight for her. Haven't had one of those in a while. Taking on Felicia Spencer. The co-main event. Finagling with the scale right now. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Didn't seem like she was struggling to miss weight. And what is going on?
146 even.
146. The former UFC featherweight champion.
Yeah,
146.
it's non-title. That's why I feel this is a non-title fight.
It's a non-title
So
fight,
she's not,
Casey.
she's not had to make 145. She
Our
historically
cameraman,
has. Yeah.
Our cameraman, Casey
A little
Leiden,
freak out there.
just freaked
He had a
out that
little
the
freak out.
champion missed weight, but little did he know that Chris Cyborg is not the UFC featherweight champion anymore after famously getting knocked out by Amanda Nunes at which card?
Fighting at 145.
That is correct.
Felicia Spencer.
And their opponent, Felicia Spencer, right out of the gate. Another former Invicta champion, coming off a win in her, as Alexander dies next to me. Felicia, another former Invicta champion, coming off a submission win over Megan Anderson in her UFC debut on upstate New York, so Montreal. Montreal?
Montreal.
Oh, God. I'm not going to try and say that. One of my favorite interviews you did yesterday was
145 even.
145 even for Felicia Spencer.
Championship weight for Felicia Spencer.
Championship weight for Felicia Spencer. And for those of you who missed all of our interviews from UFC 240 Media Day, you can head over to our YouTube page, check them all out, and I thoroughly enjoyed your interview with Felicia Spencer.
She's a great personality. She really could be a star for this company.
Pulled back the curtain on all the creepy messages fans have sent her over since making her UFC debut. She famously on UFC Embedded
Fighting at 185, Christoph Joyko.
discovered she was on a foot fetish site, which she thought was hilarious. But it's Christoph Jocko up next, or
Yotko?
I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. Is that on the record, Casey? Christoph Joyko, according to the UFC PR person. Christoph, another man. Put your hands down, people.
185 and a half.
185 and a half for Christoph. This is a fight you're looking for.
Yeah, I am. It's a little worried for both guys. But I mean, Yoko is not far removed. I mean, he is far removed, sorry, but I don't know if you'll remember, he was once on like a 4-fight win streak, 4 or 5 win streak, 6-1 to start his UFC career. Went over Talis Leites. He was right there in the rankings. I don't know if he was in the top 10, but he was definitely in the top 15.
Fighting at 170, Eric Koch.
Eric Koch fighting at 170, and I'm telling you, man, he was scheduled
Former
to fight.
featherweight contender.
I saw him this week, and I didn't recognize him. He is absolutely huge compared to what we used to see him. Famously fell out of his scheduled fight against Jose Aldo. His return fight lost to Ricardo Lamas. So he lost out on that shot against Jose. But I think he's the one that fell out, and Frankie Edgar might have stepped into him. Not 100% on that, though. A lot of new tattoos, too.
170 and a half.
170 and a half for Eric Koch. Looking absolutely monstrous compared to his featherweight days. I didn't recognize him when I saw him.
He looks drastically different. And I hope that, we were talking about Gavin Tucker before as someone who's dealt with injuries. Eric Koch has dealt with a lot of injuries and setbacks. Like you said, missing out on world UFC championship opportunities because of some of the injuries he's had. And, maybe being in a higher weight class hopefully will alleviate some of the stress in his body. Again, I'm not a doctor. This is just purely speculation. And hopefully, how old is he now? I think he's 37.
Fighting at 145,
30.
He's 30, I'm sorry. I think he's older because of how long he's been around. So way off in age there for me. But he's had a lot of mileage, unfortunately. But let's hope. 30's still young, so.
What can you tell me about, I'm not going to try and pronounce his first name, Choi.
Oh, let's see him weigh in first.
Go ahead. Even for, as I try it, Sengwoo Choi fights Gavin Tucker. That fight is official.
I was going to say this was, I actually forgot, this is actually Choi's second UFC fight. He fought Movsar Evloev and lost it.
UFC on ESPN?
That's correct. And ESPN Plus. And he lost a unanimous decision. Evloev is legitimate. Yeah.
155 even.
Okay, we are back. That was Arman Sarukian, who just made weight, 155. So everyone has some technical difficulties we got to
A
deal
little
with.
bit of technical difficulties. Apologies about
That's
that.
the magic of live television, everyone.
Right. So, still no one has missed weight.
Yeah, we are looking good.
Fighting at 125, Viviane Araujo.
Okay.
Viviane Araujo up next. Taking on Alexis Davis in a prelim bout.
She'll be looking to make 125.
Women's flyweight. Again, like we said,
You can edit from that there
doesn't take a lot of victories in a row to get a title shot at flyweight.
on YouTube page.
Why is that responding back there?
Go to YouTube.
125 even.
125 even for Viviane Araujo.
No, you weren't on this one.
Again.
It's not. I already said that.
You were speaking of Araujo before we had a little bit of technical difficulties. Were you not?
Yeah, this could be a huge. You know, I know. I think Davis coming off a couple of losses, maybe.
Back to back.
But I think she's still a legitimate name and still a very tough test, whether it's at 125 or 135. So a win here, a finish. If Araujo can finish Alexis Davis, it'd be a big statement for her as a potential contender.
Her last victory at UFC 237 over at Salita Bernardo was a knockout,
It was.
not a TKO. $184.5 for Marc-Andre Barrios.
Former champ at the TKO
TKO?
promotion
Yeah, I was about to
at
say.
185 and 205.
205 and 185?
Yes.
Wow. He must not have been a big 205. Right?
No, he was not. Definitely not.
AK Lee's so gangster. There you go. Got a comment.
Thank
Fighting
you.
at 125, Davison.
8-ball Rocco.
Davison Figueiredo, number 4 ranked flyweight in the world, about to step on the scale. Why did Alexander Volkanovski weigh in? He's not fighting on the card. He weighed in as a standby just in case Max Holloway and Frankie Edgar could not make weight or one of them fell out. He was the possible replacement, but of course he will not be needed. Well, I would say that now. Fights have fallen.
Like a hip.
Yeah. 126.
Okay.
Figueiredo made weight. This has been a very stressful situation for people who need it. We are very close to the side. We're not trying to get accidental slips. But Figueiredo looking to get back in the win column after suffering his first professional defeat to Jussier Formiga on that UFC Nashville card. Why they put Formiga? Hakeem Dawodu, last man to weigh in. Calgary's own. He is absolutely ecstatic to make weight. You could tell that was a rough cut for him. He was struggling to make weight. He hit the scale, he made it, and he is absolutely ecstatic. Hakeem Dawodu makes weight, and just like that, every single person.
That's it, we're done.
Every single person at UFC 240 has made weight. I was going to cross it off, but what's the point? Well, for Jose Youngs and Alexander Kaley, that is your pen. We're signing off. You can stick over at MMAfighting.com, you go to UFC.com/MMAfighting, Twitter.com/MMAfighting, MMA Fighting DOTCOM on Instagram. And for Jose, Alex, we'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you later for the preview show.
You'll see a lot more of us.
And then we got the fights on Saturday. See you then.